Today I'm going to make a full techno track using sounds from Sylenth1 only. Sylenth1 is pretty much a classic software synthesizer if there is one. It's been in existence since I think 2007 and it's still going strong, it still sounds great. It's a virtual analog synth, which means it's quite versatile. It can do a lot of different types of sounds, and today I'm going to try and make all the sounds I need for a complete techno track. So let's go to Ableton Live, where I've created 8 tracks with Sylenth1 already inserted in an init patch. So let's get going and let's start by making a kick drum. So I'm going to select a sine wave in the oscillator here. I'm going to set up pitch envelope. Pitch A, I'm using this envelope with a slope here, a decay. And this is a matter of tweaking the parameters. Let's increase the release on the amp envelope and tweak the envelope here for the pitch. This is the typical zapping sound. It needs to be shorter and maybe a little bit less intense to get this kick drum sound. And to make life easy, I'm just going to create a clip here with some notes with the 4 to the floor kick pattern and have that play while I'll tweak the parameters. I can add some drive. I think you have to select a filter for that. Yeah. Select the filter type. There's also distortion here, of course. Yeah, let's go with that type of distortion. Let me just pitch it a little bit lower. That's a decent enough kick. Now onto the sub bass. What I can do here, of course, is create a nice low subby sound in Sylenth1, but I'm going to do something different. I'm going to resample the kick drum sound with some reverb on it and create a rumble sound out of that. It's allowed in my book. So I'm going to create an audio track here and I'm going to set it to resampling. To make it a little bit easier, I'm going to drag this to the timeline here, so I can only sample one sound, one hit without it looping. Put a big reverb on and record that. Great, now create a MIDI track, drag the audio to the MIDI track, and now it loads up a simpler. And this we can manipulate into a bass sound. I'll go back to the session view here, create a clip. Very simple, short 4/16 note pattern. Let's tweak the sound here. Let's filter it down. Let's play both in the session view here. I'll just bass mono it. It's actually cool to keep some of the higher end stereo information. Okay, moving on. So some sort of main synth sound, some sort of maybe acid line. Or what I can do is I can do my favorite trick, which is just randomize the sound by Shift R and see what I get. Now some of these sounds will be very high in volume, others will be very low. I actually like this. Let's put it into a clip and see how it plays together with the rest. Yeah. Expand a little bit to the side. I don't mind for now. I'm just going to slap on some reverb and delay. Okay, moving on. Let's get some more synth sounds here. And again, I'm lazy today. I'm just going to do random. Actually, it's nothing to do with laziness. It's just a very nice way to generate ideas. And oftentimes I get lucky and find very cool sounds. It might take a few tries. Again, I love this. Come on, this is great. Let's try this. Add in some fake sidechaining here with the LFO tool. Just tweak this until it sounds right. A little bit of pumping. And moving on. So this randomizing thing really is working for me. Let's do it again. The weirdness of it, I love it. Maybe get rid of the noise. Let's see. There are two parts, A and B. I can solo those. Actually, basically, most of it is happening in part B here. This is a sine wave, that's noise. So if I cut out this, cool. And now combined with part A. I should have a keyboard connected to my computer. I don't, so I'll have to draw in some notes. Let's make this a longer loop. Just try some different pitches here. Give it this sort of weird, sort of surreal, disoriented feel. What if I just transpose everything? Yep. 3 contrasting synth parts, done. Okay, let's move on to some percussion. So I'm not gonna randomize the sound this time, I'm just gonna deliberately create something here. So for percussion, of course, noise is always a very useful thing. So I've selected noise in the oscillator here. I'm gonna create a clip and just start with a very basic, very loud, sorry, very basic 16th note pattern, a short envelope here with some attack and decay. So we're going for a shaker sound here. Let's go for a high pass filter on this. Some resonance. This of course does sound very static, so let's do some velocity. Velocity modulation here. So I'm going to randomize the velocities and I'm going to set up source velocity here and use that to control the volume. This is a subtle effect, but you do hear a little bit of variation in the volume between the notes. Good enough for me, yeah. Let's raise the cutoff a bit. Actually, my experience, it sometimes works better just to do the high pass filtering with the EQ here, or in addition to the filter on the synth. Okay, more percussion. Let's see, more white noise on a new track here. Maybe some sort of a clap or snare-like sound. Just make a simple pattern. This is all in the envelope shaping. And again in shaping with the filter. Let's try a bandpass for this. And let's do something with velocity again. So for instance, this last note here, make it a little bit quieter. And maybe this one as well, a little bit quieter. And let's set source velocity to, what shall we do? Maybe the filter cutoff. Yeah. So listen how this changes. Okay, and maybe add some delay here. I have a ping pong delay set up. Okay, so let's do another hi-hat, an open hi-hat. Typical pattern here, every second eighth note. Again, selecting some noise, setting the envelope to a relevant value. High pass filtering. Let's try to add some interest to this sound with some modulation effects, maybe a phaser. Make it subtle, mix not too much of it in, together with the rest. I have one track left here. Let's just randomize this again and see what kind of sounds we can get more of. Pretty intense. This could perhaps be some sort of a drone that comes up towards the break or something. Let's make a long clip out of that. I don't know, 8 bars. And that could fade in towards a break or something. Again, this can use some fake sidechain here. LFO tool, I'm just going to copy this over. And putting on a high pass. And some reverb, why not? Actually a lot of reverb, 100%. Okay, cool. Okay, so that's a bunch of sounds generated. Now I'm going to put them all into an arrangement and I will see you when that is finished. Okay, so I've created an arrangement and I'm going to play it through for you now. But before I do that, I will show you that I added one more part, which is this cymbal part. Again, I made it with Sylenth1. I used some stereo panned noise, a long envelope and a high pass filter. So I added that, and now I will play through the whole track and explain a little bit what I did arrangement wise, so you get an idea of how this works. I forgot to track the amount of time it took me, but it wasn't long. It was definitely less than an hour. I think more like half an hour or something. So anyway, let's get into it. Let's play this through and I will explain a little bit what's what. I grouped the kick and the sub bass together and put a high pass filter, an automated high pass filter on the group here. So the track starts with the Zap synth thing. I put an auto filter on that with a slow LFO. You can hear it opening up the high frequencies a little bit and then down again. This mid-range drone here, I put a high pass filter on that too. You'll hear it revealed a little bit more in the breakdown here. By the way, the breakdowns where the high pass filter on the kick and the sub is engaged, I color-coded those white. That's just the thing I did. And then I use this short clip here, automation on the volume to make it swell, and that disappears again. And then after this break, it becomes a permanent drone. Also, the hi-hat is coming in now, and the shaker sound here, there was a filter on that too. A low pass filter, and that's opening up, becoming more in the foreground, coming more to the foreground. Now this is being faded in, this high note sound. Again, I use the automation on the utility plugin here. That's easier than doing it on the mixer volume. Now there's this snare-like sound. Let me lower that a little bit. White noise snare. Again, just basic white noise, an envelope to get a snare-like attack and decay, and that's basically it. Oh yeah, and a bandpass filter with some resonance. Another break. Now you can hear these sounds coming up, the filter's opening. Actually, this is the volume automation here, and this is the filter opening. And the big drop with the cymbal to give it that sort of speed, to give it that danceability, that like things are going, the train has left the station, we're moving along. That's the techno feel that I love. This is what I'm going for. Again, adding the snare in for some variation. Otherwise, not too much happening here. This is of course just a very first little attempt at a track. If I decide to develop this further, I will be adding more automation things happening. And now a big breakdown in the middle. Complete drop out of the kick and the sub bass here. You can see things are winding down, lowering the volume on this drone here, loading the filter on the main synth, the Zap synth, and then it's all coming back in again. I have an idea. Just getting rid of this and starting it later again. Building up again with the hi-hats and high notes, as I call them, coming in again. Onto a short break with the high pass kick and sub. And that adds in the snare again. The snare, by the way, which is sent to a delay. I use Echo a lot, just a standard live device. I'm a big Echo Boy user as well, but I often found this is just easier, quicker to set up. It doesn't have all the modes that Echo Boy does, but it does a good job at sort of a vintage delay sound. Here a small break with the kick dropping out. Started to wind down things here. The drone, which was here, is become occasional again, more like a one shot. Again, this one is going to swell, it's going to rise in volume. Kind of subtle. The filter slowly closing on the main synth here. And the cymbal coming to an end. Stuff kind of winding down. One more snare, one more 1/8 hi-hats, just the shaker. Shaker's being filtered down with another auto filter. It opened up in the beginning and the low pass is closing again here. And we're going to a final part where the beat completely drops out. And we only have these two synths going, winding down to a close. And that is the track, made all from scratch with only sounds from Sylenth1. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoyed this video, whether it was instructional for you or just entertaining, hopefully both. If you do, please like and subscribe to this video. That helps me a lot. In any case, thank you so much for watching and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.